So Nelson Havi is a man who was a candidate in the last election in Westlands constituency on a UDA ticket. Nelson Havi yesterday crossed over and is wearing a new hat. He has joined DCP, according to his own X account, which showed him akivishwa kofia na kiongozi wa chama cha DCP, Bwana Rigathi Gachagua. He's our guest now. Good morning.
Good morning, Eric Latif. Good morning, Mariam. Good morning, Janet. I'm doing this so that I may be able to remember all of us. You see, at my age and stage, memory tends to be a rare resource.
Mapema.
Like, let's get this out of the way.
Right.
You know, when Nelson Havi was 9, he was behaving 19.
Okay, makes sense. Because I was going to be like, you're not that old.
Yeah, he's a young
really
man. I'm like,
old.
come on. So he's always adding a decade, eh?
Mariam, let me tell you a story. When I got married in 2005, I was just 27. My mother was my mother was 37. There's a 10-year gap between myself and my mom. And she was crying. Say, now my son, you are leaving me, how will I be? And then my grandfather told me, now you have 2 wives, the one that your father left and the one that you've acquired. My father died at the age of 47. I'm 47. Add 47 to 47. How old am I? I'm an old man.
Your mother had you at 10.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry,
no,
I was so...
20 years.
Okay.
So she's 47.
Oh, right, sorry.
I was 27.
Okay.
Hey, Janet.
No, we were just...
We were trying to do...
Yeah, the math,
That
the
quick
mental
math.
math.
Yes,
the mental
yes.
math.
Okay. You got it right, yes.
Okay.
I'm 27, she was 47.
Okay, all right.
So, Nelson, we start the conversations normally here with Janet giving you a day's quote. Words that were said by somebody. And then let's see whether you agree with those words. If you agree, say yes and why. If you don't, say no and why.
And we keep it moving. Booker T. Washington is behind today's quote, better known as an American educator, author, and orator, and a leader in the African-American community many, many years ago. And he once said, you can't hold a man down without staying down with him. Do you agree?
Absolutely right. Because for you to subdue somebody, you must bend down. And therein lies the problem. And often, there will be no need for you to subdue anybody. Because there's much greater good in being up, all of you. I agree entirely.
Okay.
Great. Now, you threw your heart into politics in different ways. One, into politics of leading the Law Society of Kenya, running the campaign. I remember that campaign, a brave new bar. He got elected into it. And then next, you wanted to get into national politics by going into the National Assembly. And in the last election, you were in UDA. And I remember we had a conversation with you and like, so why UDA? Why this Tanga wing and not any other? And you had reasons for it. After the election, among the people who were strongly critical of how the government was operating was Nelson Havi. And now you see you've joined an opposition outfit. So explain yourself, Nelson.
In 2020, it must have been August, when Senior Counsel Nzamba Kitonga died. Then Deputy President Dr. William Samuel Ruto reached out to me and said, can I come and say poorly to Nzamba Kitonga's family? And went to his family's home in Lavington. And this is what Dr. William Samuel Ruto told me. When I joined Parliament in my late 20s, I met Paul Kibugemwite. And Paul Kibugemwite, I'm quoting, told me, one way of assisting the government is objectively criticizing it. And Dr. William Samuel Ruto told me, you're doing a good job as president of the Law Society of Kenya, keeping us in check. You are actually part of the government. You're doing a good job. So when I lost the seat for Westlands MP, many of you forget that I serve as the chairman of the Retirement Benefits Authority. So Dr. William Samuel Ruto must have seen propriety in my performance to appoint me as chair of the Retirement Benefits Authority. And being the person he is, he never curtailed my freedom and right to speak. Why? Because even him in his late 20s knew there can be no better way to help the government than to criticize it. So if you hear of any lamentations that Havi was critical of the government of President William Samoei Ruto. Those are not lamentations from those who matter.
Okay, so it was a good thing that you were doing. You were
Absolutely.
You were supporting the country
Yes.
by being critical of government. Are you happy with the work that William Samoei Ruto and his UDA and Kenya Kwanza team have done so far?
Not entirely. My only happiness extends to the initiative to expand the road infrastructure in Kenya. And the other day when I was traveling from Nakuru to Nairobi, I took note of that. When I drive home in the evening, I see the road infrastructure. But that is not enough. As somebody will say, hatuwezi kula barabara, hatuwezi ishi barabara, hatuwezi tibiwa na barabara, hatuwezi elimika na barabara. To the extent that there's been a failure in the system of education, to the extent that there's been inability to provide health care, then there is a big problem. You know, yesterday I went to the IEBC offices in Westlands to see how my people are registering to vote. And I found this mama with her 2 children. You will see in the picture I posted yesterday. The boy on my far left, actually I thought he was 8 or 10 years. The gentleman is actually 17 years and is barely 3 feet tall. Completely diminished, not just in presence, but even in demeanor. And then the other girl on my right, they were looking for ways to go to school. You understand? So I wondered who in the DO's office or the IBC office will be there to help this family. This is the plight of many people, not just in Westlands, but all over the country. People cannot afford basic education. Yet basic education is a fundamental right given to the people of Kenya in the Constitution. While still at the IBC offices, there's this gentleman who was crying that I need to take my child to India. Why? Because the healthcare system has failed. Go anywhere, people tell you, look, I can't walk. I got no food. I'm famished. A nation that cannot feed its people, a nation that cannot treat its people, a nation that cannot educate its people, it's a failed nation. And to that extent, I say my friend Dr. William Samoei Ruto has let the people of Kenya down. And I say this objectively and with the greatest love for the president.
Your resignation from UDA,
Yes.
was there anything specific, one single incident or anything that precipitated the resignation, or was it a build-up over time?
It became unbearable to be associated with UDA. In fact, because I'm an easygo person, I walk in the streets, I drive by myself, I've not stolen anybody's money. And you will be mobbed by people and they'll look, Havi, wewe ni mtu mzuri, tafadhali toka kwa hiyo chama cha watu wajeuri na wezi. But even before then, you remember in April last year, my memory is waning again. It was in April 2024 when the elections of UDA were held. I'm a registered voter in High Ridge, Hospital Hill Primary School. That is where the elections of UDA were being held for a polling station. I was not in the voter register. It had already been removed. They picked some lady, some nameless lady from Homa Bay and brought her to be the UDA chairperson here. Okay. So, yes, there were justifiable reasons for me to resign from the UDA party.
What do you mean, your name was not in the register?
Yes, it had been removed. Akufukuza kuambi toka.
Okay. So then you thought DCP. Take us to that journey of saying resign UDA and perhaps here is where we can have a solution for Kenya.
I resigned from UDA last year in September or October, thereabout. Between then and now, how many months? 4? I mean, I've been a spinster for all this period of time. There have been people who have been courting me. I've seen their overtures. I've been able to evaluate them. And I settled on DCP. And why are you surprised? Yesterday, on my right was His Excellency, the former Deputy President, the elected deputy president, not the appointed one, Rigathi Gachagua. On my right was Honorable Cleophas Malala. On my far left was Honorable Edward Muriu Kamau, my first employer. There was Linturi, and these the people that we stood up together to campaign for Dr. William Samoei Ruto. I mean, in fact, if you look at the clip and
this is Kenya Kwanza, silly or Kenya Kwanza. It's basically
the original.
It's a Kenya Kwanza original.
Yeah.
No.
Or Kenya Kwanza rebels.
These are not rebels. These are the forthright, genuine people who have been shafted because we stand for the right thing.
Kenya Kwanza rejects. I got the right term.
Wow, from rebels to rejects in 10 seconds.
Eric Latif.
He's clarified.
You've seen this meme going around.
Yeah.
The affordable signing and the DCP signing. I mean, Rigathi Gachagua is enlisting stallions and mares. The other guy is enlisting emasculated eunuch mules. You can imagine what more damage can you cause to a mule?
Okay. We talk a lot about personality driven. You've actually lined up and mentioned personalities.
Yeah.
But I think people are really interested in policy and ideology. And I think the other day I saw on the comment section for one of the videos, people were like, guys, this is wishful thinking. We know how things work here. We know things are driven by personalities. But Nelson, take us back to how you can convince Kenyans, if you feel that it's important to, that this is not just another linking up with a personality and former personalities aligned to so-and-so, but these are the people who could actually address the issues that you've outlined just now. Lack of, education, funding, and the like here.
Janet Mbugua.
Yes.
With the fun way, why are they stallions and mares?
And the others are mules?
And the others are eunuch mules. Yeah.
I can never be associated with a personality cult. I mean, this is me. This is my predisposition. I'm oriented to working. The journey, the travel to Parliament is a journey that is based upon a vehicle, you understand? And there can be no other clarity. Because, look, yesterday, Dr. William Samoei Ruto hosted candidates. So they have candidates for UDA in Westlands, you understand? So it is a deliberate isolation, which we're not sulking. Our faces are high up. And starting with your first question, what is the role of a member of National Assembly? To legislate, to debate in Parliament. Look, my hearing capacity is not that good, but from what I hear, they say that Havi debates intelligibly and articulately with profound information. What is the second role of member of National Assembly? To oversight the executive. If I, Telemwa, have been able to oversight the administration of President William Samoei Ruto without the badge of office, what more will I be able to do when I'm in office? Number 3, equitable allocation of national revenue. What have we been talking about here? This is what I've been talking about all the time. I'm the one who filed a claim in court on the CBC. So my leadership has no infancy. I've never been a novitiate insofar as leadership is concerned. Infrastructural development is the last function of a member of National Assembly. And so the other day, I visited my friend Jesus Thanki in his home of General Madenga Drive. And his wife, who is also my mother, told me, Nelson, you are in government. Could you please see to it that this road is fixed? I was able to make contact with Kura, and within 3 days, the fixing of the road had begun. In fact, I'm afraid there is a high possibility that as and when I'm elected as member of National Assembly for Westlands, I'll finish all my 4 assignments within 1 year, and there'll be nothing for me to do thereafter.
Just before Mariam comes in, just before you address Mariam, I mean, your CV is not in question at all. I mean, that one isn't in question. I think I'm just curious, and maybe I should ask what was the line that got you courted? And what is it that the other people were not able to do as you were in that season of courting that DCP? Something must have landed for you to say.
Janet, unajua mimi ni mrembo. Ningekuwa mwanamke, ningeolewa na ng'ombe karibu 500. Unaelewa? When His Excellency Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua attended the function of advocates last year, it's called Gemagwatho, he said, I want to have intelligent men and women in parliament. You see, ODM has serious legislators like Edwin Sifuna, James Orengo, Otiende Amolo, Professor Tom Ojenda, et al. And his lamentation was well informed. And look at his tweet yesterday. He said, I've acquired a gem. Look, those are not my words. You know, often one cannot self-evaluate. We live in self-doubt, which is okay. Because everybody who did not have any self-doubt will never progress. This is the intelligent quotient that Rigathi Gachagua has seen. And he hasn't seen it today. He saw it about 5 years ago. I acted for Rigathi Gachagua when he was being vilified by President Uhuru Kenyatta. I'm the first one who took the bold step to act for him.
As they were wooing you, what enticed you? I think that was more Janet's question. Yeah, the courtship is definitely there. That, you know, you're definitely a flower. What enticed you to DCP vis-a-vis all these other suitors?
DCP is a groom that satisfies everything that a bride will want. There'll be no WhatsApp groups, there'll be no fundraisers for you to have your wedding. You understand? This is a group that I said, kuja tuishi pamoja. You understand? And let me elaborate, because Eric Latif is poising. And he has this handsome face that tends to beguile the girls. So he's poising. So before he beguiles the girls, this is the point, Eric Latif. When you deploy DCP, these chaps come in plenty. And you know, Kikuyus are Turakus. When they agree to do something good, they do it in plenty. So they will come in plenty. We will not suffer any want of assistance. And for this, I'm forever grateful to His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, Edward Morio, and Cleophas Malala. They have lessened our burden of making this appraisal in Westlands.
So who else had courted you?
Well, you saw me with many of the people in the United Opposition. But you see, this courtship is not one that is of loss to any of the grooms who are looking for me, because this is the conglomerate of the United Opposition. I was courted within the United Opposition.
Okay. So I think what I hear you saying is you looked at what the DCP was to offer. And you've said a rich voting bloc.
Yes.
Now, I see that directly with what you're saying. In fact, I'd even written down here voting patterns and all, because you are contesting in Westlands where you contested before, and the lessons from last election may be playing a hand here in the next election. We vote in voting, there are voting blocks and patterns, even in Nairobi. There are parts of this city where you can see the predominant community here is, for example, the Kamba. So if I'm in Waipa, I stand a higher chance. The predominant community here is the Luya in Westlands. So if I'm in a party that has the Luya bloc, your ODM in the last couple of elections, I stand a chance. And you went with UDA, because UDA was also now with the Rigathi Gachagua faction and the Mount Kenya Murima faction and all, was giving you the other voting bloc, which is the Kikuyu voting bloc of Westlands constituency.
Yes.
I think you're not running away from UDA. You're basically just following the voting bloc that you're seeing. This is where I'm likely going to vote. If the Murima people have bolted from UDA, then it serves me to also bolt and go where the Murima people are likely to be. Then I shall now convince my tribes people, the Luyas, that I am also good, for a good bride for this particular position. Am I right? Is that some good political calculation?
Yeah, you're right, Eric. The other day, I think 2 days ago, I'd been brought this brief. It was complicated, and the clients were asked, will we get this order easily? Then I told them, I don't do the easy job. That's the reason why you are here. We'll get it done. Your computation is substantially correct. You know, last time I ran independent for all practical purposes because I left ANC, joined UDA, left my Luya block there. My DVD came with another candidate. Weta came. All of a sudden, William could not come to campaign for me in Westlands. Who did he send? He sent Weta, who came to campaign for his brother. He sent my DVD, who came to campaign for my opponent. I mean, to garner 20,000 votes against the vehemence of the people who were supposed to assist you. But fundamentally, these are the mathematics. And it's important that my followers and my people understand.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. We are going on a break because I think it's important that you come back and talk about. You said mathematics.
Mathematics or mathematics.
You know?
Are we together?
Yeah, we are together. Nelson Havi will come and talk to us about the mathematics, and he has said that my people need to hear. So you need to hear it. Stay with us. It's coming up 7:30. We'll come back and continue the conversation with him. In just a moment, we'll return to conversation with Nelson Havi. Some because you said mathematics for my people, so that's where we'll pick it up from. Some feedback. Lenny Steve is saying, is Nelson Havi giving validation or legitimacy in all aspects to DCP, or is DCP giving Nelson the same? He'll answer that in a moment. Nelson Havi provides a lot of legitimacy to DCP. That's our son of Cronus, especially the intellectual and philosophical growth of the party. Francis Mweu, so Senior Counsel Havi, what's the latest on Jiri Pesa? That's something that he said he'll take a minute later to break it down.
I saw you with Senior Counsel Ahmed and CJ Kome.
And then finally, Stakima Pepe says, good morning, Fixers. It's obvious that unless one has never visited, is it Mrima is what he's trying to say lately, that vying on UDA in Mount Kenya is like putting a loose noose waiting to hang. Watu wa Mrima, wakikutoka, wamekutoka.
Peter Kamau on Facebook says, politicians and aspirants will align with parties that are most likely to go to power. It's not that they believe in the affairs of the party. That's why they jump ship from time to time in order to get the most likely chance to clinch power. That's the gist of our politics. Collins says, well, to be honest, it might not be easy for Havi. It's not a piece of cake, but I wish him good luck. Wakanya Lawrence Mutambu says, is in Mandera and wishing you luck as well. Caleb says, I'm from Kangemi Westlands. Havi is my MP, lakini anahamahama vyama kama wa Mushomba.
Alafu, is it Momanyi? Let me get the Manta actually, Abdillah saying another mole here. So a few days ago we had Eliud Owalo here, who's also a
presidential aspirant who's just decamped from government.
That's the word. That's what I was looking for. A decamper. Yes, and a presidential aspirant. And a lot of the accusations were he's a mole, essentially being sent from President Ruto's camp to go elsewhere and do some detective work.
And Nyamoya says Havi had initially endorsed the candidature of former CJ Maraga, while the sudden shift to Rigiji, which presidential candidate will DCP back, given that Rigiji is not eligible to run?
Any questions?
A lot of them are questions and feedback and comments. But first, before you lose your train of thought on explaining to your people on the mathematics, and then you'll come and tell us about that photo that we saw with you and the Chief Justice.
Absolutely. Look, the people of Westlands, the people of Kenya, the people of Nairobi, these are the demographics in Westlands. 45,000 Luyas, 35,000 Kikuyus, 15,000 Kambas, 10,000 Luos, 8,000 Kisis, 1,280 Kalenjins. Kikuyus turn up to vote 80%. Luyas turn up to vote 50%. Every other party, other than the United Opposition, will field the Luya candidate in Westlands. There is propriety, merit in us assembling and bagging the Kikuyu vote before we go for the other votes. There is merit in us bagging the Kamba vote, and we have no apologies. Politics is about local politics. Politics in Kenya is about ethnicity, and will not make any apologies for it. The Kikuyus and the Kambas have put their stake here. My friends from the Luhya community see the propriety of joining our cousins and friends who have said, as we have seen, we have ascertained, and we have determined that our candidate is Nelson Havi. Now we want you, the Luhyas, to embrace this candidate wholesomely, and we take Westlands. Those are the mathematics. But even before you forget, remember Kenya had 8 provinces. Where was Nairobi? Somebody wanted to begil us that Nairobi is a province. No, Nairobi is not a province. Nairobi is part of central Kenya. This is Kikuyu territory. This is Murima. Make no mistake about it.
How so?
It is.
How so?
Go to Kangemi. Kangemi is owned by Kikuyus. They're the landlords. Go to Kitusuru. Go to Karura. Go to Mountain View. This is their home. We as a tenants here. We're workers here. So we cannot make progress unless we adopt a collaboratory approach, a partnership.
Are you talking from a wealth ownership perspective or from a population perspective? One. Two, that demographic breakdown you gave us of Westlands, where did you get that from? What's your source?
Mariam, when you are sent to the helm of President of the Law Society of Kenya, you must of necessity be bestowed with the wherewithal to gather intelligence. I have this intelligence. Raw data.
Where from?
Well, the data is there. Registration of person, registration of voters. We took the voter register, we interpreted it, we segregated it on account of ethnicity, we segregated it on account of age. We have classified these people with meticulous dexterity.
So you went to the voter register?
Yeah, the voter register is a public document.
Yes, it is a public document, but does the voter register have ethnicity?
Okay, I've never seen a lawyer by the name Wangoi. Neither have I seen a Kikuyu by the name Odoyo. Neither have I seen a Somali by the name Wikali. Shall I go on? Of course, people like together. Eric Latif are not easy to place.
You can't place.
Eric, are you a lawyer or a Luo?
Yeah? Or Somali.
Absolutely, Mario. But I convinced you. I can see the conviction.
Yeah.
No. You haven't convinced me.
There's where you're going, which is, I mean, you can do that, and that's just raw profiling. I mean, we do that. We can't run away from the fact that if you say the name Bogwa, the immediate assumption is that this one is Kikuyu. And if you see the name
wewe unajifanya mjanja, tuangalie kitambulisho yako hapa nyuma.
Nyuma ya ID.
Unajua walikuwa wameandika ethnicity kwa kitambulisho.
Kwa kitambulisho. Now, what I'm saying is, Nelson, this is how the politics has been.
Yes.
And we can't run away from that. This is how politics has been for a long time. Is it changing or is it remaining the same?
It will not change.
Are we saying?
Latif, let me answer that question.
And let me go a bit further. From your experience in the last election, campaigning in Westlands, right? Do these tribal blocks vote homogeneously?
Right.
Like, would we say that because we had Tim Wanyonyi, a Luhya, in Westlands, and we have 45,000 Luhyas in Westlands, plus 10,000 Luos who are supporters of ODM, and he was an ODM candidate, that's how come Tim Wanyonyi beat you in the last election?
Homogeneity. As a matter of proven record, the Kikuyus do vote like that. Then there's this false construct about the Luhya nation. It's a false construct. There are 18 Luhya sub-tribes. So the colonialists conglomerated us together. And that is why people tend to think that Luhya unity is elusive. There can never be Luhya unity because these are 18 nations put in one basket. You can't compare 18 nations put in one basket as against one nation, the Luhya nation, the Kalenjin nation, the Kikuyu nation. But that said and done, I did make it in 2022 on account of what I term time and unforeseen occurrences. That was not my time. And I've told you, for all practical purposes, I ran independent with no assistance whatsoever from Kenya Kwanza. In fact, the Kenya Kwanza people who came to Westlands were campaigning for the ODM candidate. And if I garnered 20,000 votes running as independent. That's commendable. But fundamentally, I am where I am because I've taken risks. I'm where I am because I've made mistakes. No one ever learned but he who took the risk and made the mistake. You understand? And I will continue making mistakes in the process of taking risks as I learn and as I grow.
Okay.
Look at a palm tree. You can see the scars of the branches that have dropped down. Those are scars of knowledge, wisdom, acquisition, and growth. So I plead with the people of Westlands. Time is now here for us.
Okay. In your learning from the last experience, you had conversations with William Ruto and with his deputy and running mate, Rigathi Gachagua. And then when it came now for time to get to the ground, you saw the reality is that there were other people who came to campaign, and ANC, which was now a partner in the Kenya Kwanza, also had a candidate, and you saw what you saw. Has Rigathi Gachagua promised you the DCP ticket for Westlands?
Check on his Twitter handle. He said, this is our candidate for Westlands. It's there in Kaltas.
Okay.
And Latif, before you depart there...
Should there emerge a strong candidate who wants to join DCP and campaign with DCP and contest for the ticket of DCP in Westlands, and then that candidate happens to be a Kikuyu, what happens to you?
There is no problem. You see, we've entered into a negotiation. We've reached an agreement. If there is need to subject all the candidates to a nomination, I'll subject myself to nomination. And you'll be surprised, my popularity transcends beyond my origin as a lawyer. If you are to look at the demographics of how I won the LSK elections in 2020, actually I lost in all lawyer territory. I won in Mount Kenya. I won in Ukambaland. Understand? And I think that's a good thing, because people of diverse ethnicities see the potential in me.
Okay.
And look, I'm a lawyer. You think I made my money because of a select ethnic bloc? A majority of my clients are Kikuyus. They're the ones who pay me. They know where to put the money. They will know where to put the vote.
Should you lose to a Kikuyu candidate for the DCP ticket, will you jump ship?
No,
we'll
support whoever I will have lost. I've lost many elections. I've lost many contests. And I've said it is in the nature of competition to take chances, to run, to fall, to rise up, and continue running.
You know, in all of this, sorry, Jan.
No, go ahead.
We haven't interrogated what Nelson Havi's agenda is for the people of Westlands, just your tribal arithmetic and the hope that it works.
You know, Mariam, that is very simplistic. I've elaborated the four main roles of member of National Assembly.
You have?
I've domiciled and given them foundation on the basis of what I've done, notwithstanding the fact that I've not been in Parliament. I think that is quite clear. But I beseech you to look at it from that perspective. I want even to entice you to register to vote in Westlands.
It would be unfair of me. I'm not a resident. So I think the people who live there should essentially vote for their member of parliament.
Yeah.
But no, you've given us, you're right, you have given us context for the work you've done and the work that a member of parliament is supposed to do. But I'm not hearing much about what Nelson Havi as MP Westlands plans to do.
Oh, thank you. That's a good opportunity. I've classified Westlands into the lower class, middle, and upper class. For the lower class, the most immediate need is to sort out water, sanitation. These are big problems in Westlands, water and sanitation. Over and above that, there is the basic education. People have to be educated. Yesterday, I paid school fees for these mass children. You understand? It should not be like that if the system is functional. That is what I intend to remedy, to ensure that every child of school-going age is educated, and not just educated, adequately educated to enable him or her earn a living when he or she is able to. What about the middle and the upper class? They want,
Wait, so
they want good
water
living.
and sanitation and basic education are not needs of the middle and upper class? They're only lower class needs, quote unquote.
You're testing my patience. I think you understand what I'm talking about. These are calibration of the categories of things.
Yes.
Right? So we move.
You've categorized the people,
we move,
and you've categorized their needs as well.
We move methodologically. Having addressed this, then we go to the needs of the middle. Of course, if you're living in Muthaiga, how will water and toilet be your problem? It can't be. I mean, that's basic.
Water and sanitation are not issues for the people of Muthaiga because they have the money perhaps to buy water.
That's what I'm telling you about.
But so that doesn't make it not a need.
There's a difference between a need and a want, and this is taught in class 4. A want.
So water is a want for people of upper class.
Yeah. Anyway, allow me to progress this discussion.
Okay.
So for the middle and the upper class, they'll want elaborate transport network, roads, pedestrian walkways, cyclist lanes, you understand? Street lights, afforestation. Westlands has 3 forests, you understand? They're being depleted. They want a clean environment. They also want to contribute to the development of what the lower class need. So they will cascade this thing. And what better way to have a synergy between those 2 classes than an individual? You know, people think I was born like this. I grew up in a grass-thatched house. I have no apologies for it. But having gone through that, having seen this, I'm better prepared to ensure that the 2 divides live harmoniously and they develop together.
Yeah. Why the stratification? I'm just going to hang on that. Why the stratification? Because everything you've mentioned is a need for every resident of Westlands, for every Nairobian, for every Kenyan. Basic education, water and sanitation. When I don't understand the stratification.
Any student of political science will remember Professor Talcott Parsons' stratification theory. The society is stratified. That's the reality of life. And there is the pecking order, up, down. You understand? And then the needs and the wants of the people down are different from the needs and the wants of the people up. And you can't conglomerate them together and say, this is what I'm going to do. For instance, if you're telling the people that I'm going to put a golf course for you in Kangemi, I mean, what will they do with the golf course?
But you're not talking about golf courses. You're talking about street lights, which I think all the residents.
No, I gave you a borderline example.
Westlands. No, but it was for the lower income. It was basic education, water and sanitation, which I think, call me crazy, that's everybody's needs. Even the people of Muthaiga do need water and sanitation. Crazy. They can afford to pay for it. Doesn't mean they don't need it.
They have private solutions to it.
If I attempt to say this, I mean,
etc., walkways, pedestrian walkways, those are needs even for the lower income people. They do need walkways. They do need
Mariam,
street
let's
lights.
agree with you. We have removed the strata. We will serve for the people of Westlands.
We have about 7 minutes, and I know we still wanted to answer some of the questions that were coming from people, but I don't know whether you answered what backing Ruto has taught you about how you'll move going forward. Because you backed him, here we are now, you're now with DCP. Is there something that's shifted in the way you're going to move politically, given what happened over the last few years? You're saying your name was removed from a register, Mchezo Town, basically. Has it shifted your approach to how you'll move now going forward? As opposed to having all this audacious hope, which I know we do when we join a new party, but has something in you shifted to say, going forward, this is probably going to be my approach politically?
Well, Janet, I've learned many things. I've learned to be accommodative. I've learned to mellow down. I've learned to be diverse. You understand? I've learned to be cautious. The other time somebody asked me, you don't trust my evaluation of this thing? I told him, I don't even trust myself. I only act on facts. So I've evaluated the facts, but fundamentally, who knows tomorrow? You understand? So you plan for today elaborately so that you're not caught off guard. Yeah.
James Nyamea Mokua had said, Nelson Havi had initially endorsed the candidature of former CJ Maraga. Why the sudden shift? Which presidential candidate will this be back? I think you also asked a version of that. But yeah, if you could we'll now just go through some of the questions. So James wants to know that.
There is no problem Yes, I'd endorsed CJ David Kenani Maraga. I'm not running for President of the Republic of Kenya. I'm running for Member of National Assembly for Westlands. This enterprise, just as it is in the plan, put on your masks first before you help others. So let me help myself now.
The juris pesa question has not been answered.
Oh, let me answer it. We met up with the Chief Justice, and this was our enterprise. We want to help the Chief Justice deal with incompetent and corrupt judges. We declared war for a whole 1 year, and the results of the war were seen. You understand? Nobody won, nobody lost. We have adopted a collaboratory approach where we'll give the Chief Justice intelligence, where the Chief Justice will ask us, how best do we resolve this problem? Because we want the Chief Justice to serve the remainder of her term well. You know, people forget that the Chief Justice is a lawyer. The Chief Justice was a member of the Law Society Council, and it is in the best interest of us to support her, yet maintain a vigilant watch on incompetent and corrupt judges so that we're able to streamline. And I've heard those people lamenting that Havi and Ahmed have been bought. Bought for what? Do we look like we can be bought? But fundamentally, where were you when we were declaring war? When were you when we were detonating bombs? You have no right to determine how we'll sign the peace treaty with the Chief Justice. That is our own business.
So what influenced this new cleverness?
Wewe umesahau kwamba mnao senior counsel. Mimi si kijana wa kutembea hadharani na kinyasa.
Because you're certainly very clever.
I'm asked, I've always been clever.
You have opted to support the Chief Justice in delivering of her duties and service to the nation through the head of the Judiciary. This has always been there. I mean, why?
What has always been there?
The need to support a Chief Justice. I mean, it's not a new need that just emerged the day before yesterday.
You know, the Chief Justice, let me tell you, when I was being conferred with the rank of senior counsel in the State House on the 11th of December, the Chief Justice reached out, held my mother and told my mother, look, ma'am, your son is a very good person. Can you speak to him so that we find ways in which we can work together and do the right thing? Nani, wait, Latif, wewe unataka nikatie kusikia mawaidha ya mama yangu? And huyu mama, Mother Koome, the same age as my mother. I'm going to help her. Because Mother Koome is not corrupt. Mother Koome is not a bad person. They are bad judges, the judiciary. And I will help Mother Koome because she reached out. You see, it is only a bold person who reaches out and say, can we work together on this enterprise? And for that, Mother Koome has done the right thing. I have no shame, I have no apologies helping the Chief Justice have an enduring term, a legacy that is demonstrable.
How will you continue the fight against what you call juris pesa in the judiciary?
In fact, even when I live here, I'm going to forward a few complaints to the GSC. I'm going to highlight some incompetent judges who have not been emasculated. Latif, can I repeat the status I started with? These are stallions and mares. They suffer no inadequacy in production and work.
Okay, I want one final question as you leave. I have raised it and we have discussed on this show many times on the importance of the independence of the institution called Parliament. Now, you'd like to join Parliament, and we've seen the current 349 members of Parliament. Many of them are swayed by their party leaders and the positions of the party leaders, right? So they seem to have lost their own independence and the money that they drove from the people who took them to Parliament directly. How can we trust that Nelson Havi will not go into Parliament and wait for orders from either State House or from regarding Gachagua's home, wherever it will be?
I don't want the people of Kenya, the people of Nairobi, the people of Westlands to trust me. I want the people of Kenya to evaluate me, factually, objectively. Do I look like the type of person who can be bought? Now, listen, Latif, between Dr. William Samuel Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, who has more money to buy me? Of course it's Dr. William Samuel Ruto. Able to jijaze. I'm not in the purchase bucket. So as and when I'm given the responsibility to represent the people of Kenya. And Rigathi Gachagua has seen that potential. He has put it in writing. He has experienced it. Then be rest assured, based upon your evaluation, that I will deliver according to the mandate given to me by you, the people of Westlands, in accordance with the Constitution, but of course with deference to the party that will second me to Parliament.
Right. We've been in conversation with Nelson Havi. About a minute to the break. I know there's a bit of feedback. Some people are saying disappointed with the tribal arithmetic. Francis Moore said, in your mathematics, I noted you rounded off Ogiek, Dorobo, and Indian to the nearest big tribe.
Actually, I'd forgotten.
Yeah.
The Asian community that voted Westlands is about 25%. Not 25%, 25,000 votes.
Still, Mike, the one Kizungu mingi na ukabila hapa imejaa sana as a DCP supporter. I'm not really happy with that. Let's move beyond tribal politics. That's the message. We've been in conversation with Nelson Havi. Thank you so much for joining us. In the next hour, we speak to Daniel Miringa, who's an activist, the People's IEBC. That's the pitch he's going to make on Shika Mike. It's coming up to 8 a.m.
Janet, I didn't get the memo. If it was pink, I have a very beautiful pink shirt.
All right.
I also have a pink Cadillac.
It was for the co-host.
Pink Cadillac, tumesema.
All right.
Thank you.